What's your batch code, guys? Okay, guys. Yesterday I was talking about what is need of Spring Data JPA or Spring Data module. Spring Data module provides unified model to interact with both SQL and NoSQL database softwares. All you need to have one interface, repository interface or DAO interface, extending from one or other predefined repository interface. Entire persistence logic by creating in-memory proxy class as the implementation of class of interface will be taken care internally or not, guys. Okay, guys. See, while working with the Spring Data JPA, we need to develop one entity class pointing to table. And we need to develop one interface pointing to this. We need to develop one interface pointing to this. Are you getting my point? Spring Data JPA internally uses what? Hibernate as ORM framework. So strong knowledge in Hibernate programming definitely helps to work with what? Spring Data JPA explicitly. Hibernate knowledge is not mandatory. While developing entity classes or model classes, we need to prefer using annotations in the following one. The Java class that is mapped with DB table is called entity class. Technically, that is called entity class. So while developing these entity classes, we need to map that class with the DB table now, boss. Super. Okay. Tell me. First priority to do this mapping, we need to use annotation. First priority, we should use what? JPA annotation. Second priority, we should use what? Java config annotation. Third priority, we should use what? Hibernate specific annotation. Fourth priority, we should use what? Third party annotations. What annotations, guys? Third part. In Spring Data JPA programming for 500 DB tables, we take 500 custom repository interfaces extending from what? Predefined repository interface mapped with 500 entity classes. And 500 entity class mapped with 500 tables or not, guys? We have to develop entity class on each one per table and interface on one per table. Remaining everything will be coming dynamically or not, guys? In OR mapping, the Java bean class that is mapped with the DB table, technically called as what? Entity class, or persistence class, or domain class, or model class. Entity class is the best terminology. By using different annotations given by different vendors, we can map these entity classes with the DB table, and we can map properties of entity class with the DB table columns or not, guys. So purely first that one I'm talking about entity class. The Java bean class that is mapped with the DB table is entity class. To do this mapping, we can use different types of annotation. First priority to JP annotation because they are common in all ORM software. Next priority to what? Hibernate annotation. Okay. Third priority what? Java config annotation. I think first Hibernate JP annotation, then Java config annotation, then what? Hibernate specific annotation, lastly, third party annotation. Okay. This is the hierarchy of repository interfaces in 2.x. Repository is an entry interface extended from CRUD repository, that is extended from paging and sorting repository or not, guys? Paging and sorting repository or not, guys? This will extend from JPA repository or not? I want reply, my dear. Come on. JPA repository extends from paging and sorting repository. That extends from CRUD repository. This extends from repository interface. Okay. Extending from paging and sorting repository, we have MongoDB repository or not, guys? Okay. This is the hierarchy in 2.x, but in 3.x, hierarchy is little different or not, guys? Same thing is there. Repository, under this CRUD repository and paging and sorting repository, under this list CRUD repository, list paging and sorting repository, extending from all the things in JPA repository, for MongoDB, Mongo repository, for Cassandra, Cassandra repository. Available or not available, guys? It's available or not available, guys? Definitely available. Okay, guys. Procedure to develop first Spring Data JP application as a standalone application. Partially laid application, but I want to use which repository? CRUD repository. CRUD means insert, update, delete operation one. I'm taking client application or runner class. Your choice, boss. For testing purpose, we can use either client or what? Runner. Here is my service class, business logic. Here is my what? Custom repository. What is there? Custom repository interface. In-memory implementation class of custom repository interface. Okay, contains persistence logic, but this will be generated dynamically. Dynamic one was, guys. Uh, In-memory implementation class of custom repository interface contains what logic? Persistence logic. What logic, guys? Persistent. Okay. Service class, business logic. Custom repository interface. Okay. Internally what? This one generated this one. Okay. We make our custom repository interface extending from what? CRUD repository or paging and sorting repository or JPA repository interface. But the IOC container generates what? In-memory proxy class implementing our interface, having lot of persistence logic. What logic, guys? Lot of persistence. Controller layer wantedly I am not taking to reduce the number of layers. In serious project, controller layer also will be there. But right now my focus more on what? Business logic and persistence logic. That's why DAO class actually should take, but need not to take it. You just take interface. Internally DAO class will come. That is nothing but in-memory proxy class. So indirectly this repository interface is based to generate in persistence logic or not. Service class will have what? Business logic. Client application will have what? Presentation logic. Everyone getting my point here, guys? Come on. Okay. Let's see the story, guys. Okay. Let's develop the thing. We'll start with the save object operation. That means I want to start with insert record operation. I would like to start with what? Insert record operation. What's your batch code? 515. In the development of persistence logic using Spring Data JPA, One for one table, one entity class. For one table, one repository interface. Remaining all are other logic, guys. Regular service class, regular controller class, regular client application. All those things are quite regular or not, guys? Close all editors. Yeah, let's create a new series, guys. Let's create new series. Array JDK version is changed, guys. That's why all are disturbed here. Take one project, build path, configure build path. Yeah, JRE, this is unbound, it is saying, guys. Add library, JRE system library, alternate JRE, installed JREs, add standard VM, directory, Java, select folder, save finish, apply, apply close, finish. This is module level, guys. Add library, JRE system library. Apply, apply, close. See, now red color mark gone now. Yeah, somehow JDK software by mistake changed, guys. Okay, let it be. New, what is there? Others, what is there? Spring Starter project. Yeah, what is there, guys? Spring boot JPA pros 01. What is there? Boot JPA pros 01. Okay. Boot JPA pros 01. Say next. Say next. Here is my Lambda KPI. Oracle driver. Array, I want to talk with Oracle database. Okay. Now, I'm selecting what, guys? JDBC API. Spring Boot starter JDBC is added. Lambda API to get the getter setter method. Oracle driver for Oracle database connectivity. This is Spring Boot starter JPA. Say next. Say finish. Yes, guys. We are ready to Spring Data API process. Online student is everything here. Today, deal with boot repository. Data, Dura Babu. चालू काले I have to take one package called com.nt.repository. No more DAO. We are going to take a repository, guys. com.nt.repository. Next, new package. com.nt.service. New package. com.nt.runner. Hooray, to write the client application runner part. Service repository, but to place entity class, better to take package com.nt.entity. com.nt.entity. Okay, that's great. So these are the various things we are having now, my dear. Come on. Super boss. com.nt.entity, com.nt.runner. These are the things. First of all, I want to talk with some database. So the database related driver details I have passed. So anyhow, Spring Data, Spring Boot Starter JDBC will give data source object pointing to connection pool. Connection objects in connection pool will be decided based on these JDBC driver details. Come on, my dear. Connection objects in connection pool will be decided in this will be decided based on this what JDBC driver details or not, guys. So what I do is I go to resources folder. First of all, what I do is data source configuration. What is that? Data source configuration. Spring dot, what is there? Data source dot driver hyphen class hyphen name. Okay. Oracle dot JDBC dot driver. Super, guys. Next. Spring dot data source dot URL. JDBC colon Oracle colon @localhost colon 1521 colon exe. Spring dot data source dot username. What is there, guys? System. Spring dot data source dot what is there? Password. What is there? Manage. Spring dot data source dot Hikari. Hikari dot what that? Hikari dot I just want to control initial pool size, max size, this kind of details. Hikari dot tell me. Minimum idle. What is there? Minimum idle. I think in my system it is a tiger na boss. Minimum idle. Spring dot, data source dot, Hikari dot, max pool size 1000. What is there? Max pool size 1000. Okay. This will decide the connection objects in connection pool for Hikari data source object. Perfect. Okay. Next one. Okay, we will write JPA Hibernate properties. What properties, guys? JPA Hibernate properties. Why, sir? Array, Spring Data JPA internally uses Hibernate. For that Hibernate, you should use some instructions. Come on. Hibernate uses one component called a dialect component. What component? Whenever required, Hibernate uses this dialect component to generate the SQL queries. I have given object to Hibernate. I asked Hibernate save this object, collecting that object data, generating JDBC code, and also generating equivalent SQL query and inserting record to table. Will be taken care by whom, guys? Hibernate. For to generate a perfect proper query, to generate what? Perfect and what? Proper query. It internally takes the support of which service component? Dialect. What is the component, guys? Dialect. What is the component that it uses, guys? Dialect. What is the component that it uses, guys? Dialect. Are you getting my point there or not there, guys? What is the component that it uses, guys? Dialect. So we need to mention one dialect component there or not there. Okay, guys. Arey, what can I do now, Babu? Should I come to your place to teach? Why? Yes, bro. Call that fellow. Okay, guys. Spring dot. What is there? JPA dot. What is there? Database platform. Database platform. org dot hibernate dot dialect dot Oracle dialect. Array, this dialect class is the class given by Hibernate, which will change database to database, sometimes version to version. Sometimes what? Version to version. Sometime version to version, guys. So for MySQL separate, SQL separate dialect. But all these are the classes indirectly extending from dialect class or not, guys? Indirectly extending from the dialect class or not, guys? Come on. Okay, guys. Call good expert and a senior most expert is there. It's it's not weather problem. Weather in Hyderabad is bad, not all over India, right? You and our analysis. Samrin madam, you are there in Hyderabad now. Please come for offline classes. Okay, at least let me complete this property file, then I'll wind up the batch. Are Karthik, let me go further, Babu. Maharashtra also weather is bad. Okay. Yes, boss. Yeah, dialect component is useful for Hibernate to generate SQL query as required for underlying database software. This class name will change according to the database and its version we use. Because in every database, queries are different, na boss. Okay. And it is an optional property, not mandatory property. Why? Why? Because if you don't give also, based on the JDBC driver details we give here, that will be generated, that will be picked up automatically. This will be generated, this will be picked up what? Automatically, right? Okay. Spring dot, JPA dot, tell me. Hibernate dot, DDL-auto, what is there? Update. Yeah, what is the meaning of this? Array, in Hibernate or Spring Data JPA, one good feature is there. What is that? Dynamic schema generation. Online student, I think it's very good. Shall we continue? Okay. Dynamic schema generation. If you use the value update, if tables are already available, it uses it. Already available modifications are required, it will do modification, right? Already available modifications are required, it will do modification. Everyone getting my point there or not there, guys? Okay. If modification is required, it will do. Tables are not there, it will create table. So it's a powerful value or not, guys? Tables are already available. Take them and use them. Tables are not there. Create them. Come on, guys. Tables are already there. Some modifications are required. Alter the table. So you need not to create the table. How these tables will be created, sir? Based on the entity class information, table will be created. With entity class name, table name, with a property name, column names. If you mention some other extra table name, the table name. Everyone getting my point? Okay. That means dialect for queries generation. This update value for what? To create the tables dynamically based on the entity classes. But in this whole process, lot of SQL queries will be generated. I want to see generated SQL queries. I want to see those generated SQL queries. Spring dot, JPA dot, show underscore SQL true. What is there? Show underscore SQL true, guys. Show underscore SQL true. That's another thing we are taking now, boss. Yeah, that is not underscore hyphen only. So hyphen SQL is equal to true. Whenever internally JDBC code is used, some queries are generated. Okay, don't hide them. Display them as on the console. Simply display them on the console. Show me them on the console. Show me them on the console. That is what I am trying to say. So this is about putting entries in application.properties, my dear. Come on. These are to get connection objects in connection pool. Dialect is useful for Hibernate to generate the SQL query as required for the database. And this is for creating table if table is not already there, using the existing table or altering the existing table based on the entity class information. Lastly, what is there? Show hyphen SQL true. What do you mean by that? Show hyphen SQL true. That means shows the generated SQL query. Simply shows the generated SQL query. Okay, that's great. This is done, guys. Okay, some explanation is kept about it. Check it out. These are the entries. Note 1. Dialect is Hibernate internally managed component or service that is capable of generating SQL queries based on what? Underlying data dialects are the classes extending from what? Dialect class. The dialect value will change based on the database software and its what? Version we use. Version we use. It's optional property to specify because based on the database or data source or JDBC properties we configure, the dialect component will be picked up automatically. To get information about dialect, this is the website we are having now. Here I kept a list of dialects, guys. For different database software, different dialects are there or not there. For different database software, we have different dialects or not, my dear? Come on. For various database software, we have various dialects. Okay. Spring.jpa.show-sql shows the dialect component generated SQL queries as what? Log messages on the console. What message? Log. Spring.jpa.hibernate.ddl-auto update. Okay. What are the possible values, guys? Create, update, validate, create drop. These are the possible values or not, guys? These are the possible values. Okay, what is there, guys? Create. If table is not already there, create it. If okay, already there, it created. If already there, it creates, drops existing and creates it. But always think about creating new table. Every execution, new table by dropping existing table. Very bad or not, guys? Next is what? Update. Next is what, guys? What's the use of this update, guys? If not there, creates. If there, uses it. If there, modification required, it will do modification. Next, what is there? Validate. Next, what is there, guys? Validate. What this validate will do, guys? What this validate will do? It checks whether table is there according to entity class or not. If there, uses it. If not there, error. Create drop. In the beginning of the application, creates the table, uses the table throughout the execution. At the end of the application, it will drop it. It is very useful in testing environment or not. Application startup, table is created. When application is going on, the table is used. At the end of the application, the same table will be dropped or not, guys? Okay. None. Does nothing. DB table should be created manually. Even verification does not take place. If no value is given, default value is what? None, boss. If no value is given, default value is what? None. Okay. Tell me, guys. Total how many possible values are there? 5 possible values are there for DDL, HBM to DDL-auto. DDL means data definition language. Create table, drop table, alter table. All these are called DDL queries or not, guys? How many possible values are there for the DDL-auto? 5 possible values are there. First one, create. Always creates a new table by dropping existing table. In fact, if you execute the application 20 times new table will be created, right? Next, update. If there, uses it. Required, alters it. If not there, creates it. It's the best value or not, guys. Validate. Does nothing great. It just checks whether table is there according to entity class or not. If there, uses it. If not there, throws exception. No creation of the table. Create drop. In at the beginning of the application, table is created according to entity class. Throughout application execution, that is used. At the end of the execution, it will be dropped. What is next one? None. Does nothing. DB tables should be created manually. Even verification does not takes place. It's a default value. If nothing is given, that is a default value or not, guys. But blindly, how many? Every time we prefer working with update as the value or not, guys. Update as the value or not, guys. Maximum update we use when testing, project testing is going on. Create hyphen drop. Someone is visiting software company for a demo. During demo, whatever data is given, that should be vanished at the end of the demo. That time also create hyphen drop is good na boss? Right. So followed by that, can I develop the entity class? Entity class is the Java Bean class that is mapped with a DB table. That is seriously mapped with what? DB table. So shall we see that? New class. Okay. Let us take doctor. I think so far we have not taken doctor, it seems. What is there, guys? Doctor. Doctor dot Java. What dot Java? Private integer. DNO. Doctor ID. DID. Doctor ID. Next. Private string. D name. Next. Private string address. What address, guys? Doctor address. Private string expert. Private double fee. Like this, some details are there, guys. How to make this normal Java Bean class as entity class, guys? How to make normal Java Bean class entity class, guys? At the rate entity. Did I not add? Acha, mistake is mine, guys. Actually, I should add JPA starter, but by mistake I have added JDBC starter na. This is the JPA project. I should add JPA starter. By mistake, I have selected JDBC starter, my dear. Spring Boot starter JDBC. Right click, Spring, add starters. Spring data JPA. Say next. Select. Finish. Okay. At the rate entity. What is there? I want to map this class with a table, guys. At the rate table. name is equal to JPA underscore doctor. I want to map this class with a table. Since DDL auto value is what, guys? Update. If table is not already there, it will create na boss. With what name it will create? JPA underscore doctor. What underscore doctor, guys? JPA and I'm keeping at the rate data. This will give me getter setter method. It makes normal class as what? Entity class. It makes normal class as what? Entity. Okay, guys. Let me map at the rate column name is equal to DID. Otherwise, you can map with another column, doctor ID. You can map with another column. What is that? Doctor ID. Okay, that's great. What is there, guys? Doctor ID. Comfortable, my dear? Come on, everyone. At the rate column, name is equal to doctor ID. I want to map this one with at the rate column. Array, first number columns you cannot control the length. Why? If I say 4, in Java Java 4 we can say, but in Java is there any data type that can hold only 4 digits? No. So for number type column we cannot control the length, guys, that will continue default ones. But string columns, for string type properties we can control the length. Okay. Doctor underscore name. What is there? Length is equal to 30. Length is equal to this. Copy this list. At the rate column, doctor underscore address. Length is equal to 20. At the rate column, doctor underscore, what is this? Length is equal to 20. At the rate column, doctor underscore fee. Length. We cannot control length for numeric properties. Why? I say length 3, but Java data type holds some other range value. Oracle will can have another data types. Why all these headaches? That's why for numeric properties, though you give length, that length will not be applied, boss. It will go by default. Based on the data type of the property, it will go by default, right? Okay. But generally we take one primary key column in every table. We take one primary key column in every table. Online students, am I visible now? Am I audible, guys? Doctor ID, doctor name, doctor address. Yes, Bitil. It's good, huh? It's buffering, still buffering, good. Yeah. Yeah, tell me. Whenever table is created dynamically, to maintain some uniqueness, we take the support of one or other column as primary key column. But right now, are we creating table manually? No. It will be created automatically and dynamically, na, my dear. So primary key column also I should tell, na. This property related column should become primary key column. But right now all are normal columns only. How can I mention this property related column should act as what? Primary key column. This property related column should act as what? Primary key column. So shall we see that, guys? At the rate ID. What is that? Yeah, if you configure any property as the ID property, that property related column automatically becomes identity property. That means identity column, nothing but primary key column. At the rate ID property related column automatically becomes what, guys? Identity column. But generally, for any primary key column, we prefer manually setting the data or value should come dynamically. Recollect other day, candidate key, natural key column, surrogate key column. I hope you remember that. Natural key column, surrogate key column. Like this we discussed the things are not, guys. Like this we discussed the things are not there, guys. Come on, everyone. Like this we understood the things are not there, guys. Come on, everyone. Okay. For that one, you have to configure generators. What is that? Generators are like algorithm, guys. Using them, we can generate values to ID property dynamically. That means they will be inserted even in what? PK column dynamically or not, guys? They will be inserted in what? PK column dynamically or not, guys? That's great. At the rate, what is there, guys? At the rate column, at the rate ID. This is the another generated value. At the rate generated value, strategy is equal to auto. What is there? Auto. The auto generation working style is what? 1, 2, by default 50 gap, 52, 102, 152, 202 like this. If you are not okay with that, other generators are there. Sequence generator is there. High-low generator is there. Table generator is there. UUID generator is there. I will introduce those generators separately later. For the time being, and if no generator is configured, default generator is also what? Auto only. Default generator is what? Auto. What is its generation style? 1, 2, 52, 102. Yes. Any confusion over there? In this entire thing, guys, mandatory annotations are at the rate entity, at the rate ID. These two are compulsory, boss. Remaining all are optional annotation. Suppose at the rate table is not given. Class name itself becomes table name. At the rate column is not given. Property name becomes what? Column name. While creating table, guys. Property name becomes what? Column. Why generation? To generate the values to ID property dynamically by using one or other algorithm. And same values will be inserted to primary key column separate automatically, na boss. The same values will be inserted to what? Primary key column automatically or not, guys? Okay. What are the mandatory annotations, guys? While creating entity class, we generally use following annotation as minimum. Entity, ID, column, table. These are minimum annotation. Entity to mark the Java bean class as what? Entity class. Because of that only normal class has become what? Entity. ID. To mark the property as what? Identity property. Based on this property value, the entire object will be identified or not, guys? The entire object will be identified or not, guys? Karthik, where are you now? Guys, am I audible? Okay. No, yes. What is correct, what is wrong? Okay. To mark the property as identity property. Okay. Generally apply this on the property that is mapped with PK column of the DB table or not, guys? Note. The ORM framework takes at the rate ID property as the criteria value to get DB table record value into entity, class, object, and vice versa. Each entity object is recognized that will be used as criteria value to generate the select query and update query to reflect the modification done in objects to table row and to reflect the modification object. Convince ORM objects of ID value, that is nothing but what? ID property value. That is nothing but what? ID property value. At the rate entity at the rate ID is mandatory to configure. What is that? Mandatory to configure. At the rate table to map the entity class name with what? DB table name. If entity class name is matching with the DB table name, entity class property names are matching with the DB table column names, then what is this? Placing at the rate table and at the rate column is an optional process. Okay. In this scenario, entity class will be taken as what? DB table name, and property name will be taken as what? DB column names. What column names, guys? DB table column names. Are you getting my point there or not there? Come on, my dear. I want reply. Don't take a table without PK column in OR mapping. Anyhow, we prefer generating new tables in Spring Data JPA where ID property column automatically becomes what? PK column of the DB. To place added ID property in entity class irrespective of what DB table is having PK column or not. Only on ID property we generate values dynamically towards saving the object by using one or other generators like auto, sequence, table, entity, and etc. Okay, final conclusion is what, guys? At the rate ID entity are mandatory annotation. Okay, the property that is mapped with at the rate ID will point to one table column. That column automatically become primary key column. Generally, we don't expect values for primary key column from end user. They should be generated automatically by application or what? Database software. That's why here we configure one or other generator to generate the values to PK column dynamically or not, guys. To generate the values to PK column dynamically, we take the support of this one or not, my dear? Okay, guys. So how many generators are there supported by JPA? 4, 5 are there. What is the default one? Auto. If nothing is specified, default is what? Auto. DB table name, column name, SQL keywords are not case sensitive. But table records data, nothing but column values are what? Case sensitive. Everything in Java programming is what? Case sensitive. Everything in Java programming is case sensitive or not, guys? Everything in Java programming is case sensitive or not? I want reply, my dear. Okay. All JPA generators are auto, sequence, table, identity, UUID. Are you getting my point? Okay. So with this, we are ready with what, my dear? Entity class is ready. Check it out. Generated value is applicable along with ID property to configure one or other generator to generate the ID value to ID property dynamically for each save object operations record. That means it is indirectly inserting values to PK column dynamically based on the generator we configure. The auto generator is the default generator that is there. Auto generator in Oracle database software. Okay, this one. Increment by 50. 1, 2, 50, 52, 102, 152, like this it is generating, my dear. Okay. Auto generator in MySQL database software creates some helper table, but brings the feeling of sequence or not, guys. They also generating 1 to 50, 50 to 102, something like that or not, guys. Okay. Yeah, this is about what? Length property. We can control the length of the column only for string property column, not for other data type property columns. Why? Because Java one size, database size one size, you are asking one size. Lot of compatibility issues will come or not, guys. Are you clear with application.property file? Driver details, JPA Hibernate details. One is a dialect class using which queries will be generated dynamically. Next, so if an SQL to show the generated queries. Next, okay, update to tell that whenever required, table, sequence, whatever it is, they should be generated automatically and dynamically or not, guys? They should be generated automatically and dynamically or not, guys? Come on, everyone. Create custom repository interface extending from what? CRUD repository interface. What, guys? CRUD. Okay, first let me create, guys, then we will understand how to. I go to this, guys. Save this. I think you are comfortable with application.properties entries, entity class, and I am going to use this class objects only for persistence activities. This class objects only I am going to use to generate what? Database software independent objects based persistence logic, right? Okay, this is my repository. Here is my what? Interface. Repository. Here is my what? Interface. I doctor repository. I doctor repository. What is there? Add. Extends what? CRUD repository. Save, finish. Save, okay. Save, finish, save, okay. Yeah. CRUD repository is already having 12 methods. For this interface, in-memory proxy class is generated. That will, come on guys. In-memory proxy class is generated. Come on guys. The generated one, come on. The generated one will deal with in-memory proxy class or not. So here is my what? Doctor. Here is my what? Int is. Public interface iDoctor repository extends what? Crude repository. Doctor comma integer. What comma integer guys? Doctor comma. Doctor comma integer. Are you getting my point there guys? Come on everyone. Okay. Public interface iDoctor repository extends what? Crude repository doctor. This is entity class name. This is the data type of the ID property guys. If it is integer, integer, float, float, double, double, string, string. So why it is required to specify? Array, based on this, the signatures of the crude repository method that are inherited to this repository will be decided. Okay, now crude repository is having so many methods now, boss. All those methods now start dealing with the doctor comma integer. Some method return type becomes doctor. Some method parameter type becomes what? Integer. Come on guys, getting my point or not there? So based on these two generic, one entity class, one ID property type, the signature of the 12 methods that are there in crude repository inherited to what? Custom repository will be changed or not guys? Will be changed dynamically or not guys? Come on everyone. Will be changed definitely and what? Dynamically. Not second thought in that my dear. No second thought in that. Public interface iDoctor repository extends what? Crude repository doctor comma integer. What comma integer guys? Doctor comma integer. Convinced my dear? Okay, that's great. So this is about repository interface creation. Okay guys. But am I going to develop implementation class for this? Okay. Now let me open the source code of it. F3. Look at the methods. S save entity. This S is what? Internally become doctor. Look at this. Find by ID. This ID becomes integer. What it returns? Optional T. T becomes what? Doctor. So based on the entity class name and data type we pass in the repository interface, custom repository interface, come on. Everything will be decided dynamically over here or not, guys? Everything will be decided dynamically over here or not, guys? Are you with me, guys? Okay. Super, guys. Okay, now I would like to generate service class, service interface and service IMPL. Okay, here is my right click new interface. Tell me, iDoctor management service. iDoctor management service. Here I am declaring the business method or not, guys? Public string. What is there? Public string. Tell me. Say register doctor. What doctor? Public string register doctor. Doctor. Public string register doctor. That's great. new class. Doctor management service IMPL interface. What is this? Eye doctor management service. What is there, guys? Eye doctor management service. Add unimplemented methods. What methods, guys? Okay, tell me. At the rate service. I'm making it as a service class or not, guys? If you want, I can give bean ID. Okay. Okay, now listen, guys. We have only interface. In-memory proxy class as implementation class of repository interface generated dynamically. But I want to inject that one to whom, guys? Service class. So that I can invoke 12 methods that are internally implemented or not, guys? Okay. Yeah, whenever you are doing injection, you will take as a property of interface type or implementation class type. Interface type. Tell me. Eye doctor. What is there? Eye doctor. Repository. Doc repo. What repo, guys? Doc. At the rate auto wide. What is there, guys? At the rate auto wide. At the rate auto wire. Okay, boss. That's great. Okay, boss. Now listen carefully. We have a save method which can save the object, nothing but insert the record. Okay, here what I am doing, check it out. Doctor repo dot doc repo dot save doctor. This method will actually insert the record, guys. What this method will do? Collects the given object. Okay. Using generator generates the ID value to ID property. To the DID property, first one is generated, na? Gives object data to JDBC insert SQL query by generating query dynamically. Sends and executes the query, insert the record. Come on, guys. Once everything is done, this method returns given object as it is, but only the difference is earlier ID value is not there while giving. Now I dynamically generated ID value will be there or not there. So that's why return value is what? Return value is what? Doctor. Saved doctor is equal to. Doctor saved doctor is equal to. Array, what is the difference between this doctor and saved doctor? This doctor does not have ID value. Save method dynamically generates what? ID value based on the generator we configure. Based on the generator we configure, right, my dear? Okay. Based on the generator we configure. Okay, that's great. Okay, that's why in saved doctor ID value will be there or not there, guys. Okay, here what I am going to do is into ID value is equal to saved doctor dot get DID. Saved doctor dot get DID. Doctor is saved with the ID value plus ID. Doctor is saved with the ID value plus ID value. Comfortable, my dear? Got the point, my dear? I want reply, guys. Everyone convinced with me, my dear. Come on. Once again, check it out. Save method. We have given one object or not? Save method collects that object data. First, using generator generates the value to ID property. Okay, object data will be given to dynamically generated JDBC code plus insert SQL query. Okay, that query goes to database software and what happily inserts the record or not, guys. Okay, now that query, the inserted record and inserted record object are in synchronization. Okay, it returns what? Same object back to what? Application having ID value. We are capturing only ID value, guys. Now we are displaying the message. Doctor object is saved having so and so ID value or not, guys. Doctor object is saved having so and so ID value or not, guys. I want reply, my dear. Convinced with me or not, boss? Okay, that's great. So this is how we have to think about working with what? Eye doctor management service. Doctor management service IMPL. We are ready with this, but are we writing any persistence logic, guys? No. But we are using already generated persistence logic or not, guys? We are definitely using already generated persistence logic or not, guys? Okay, that's great, guys. Let's go to runner, my dear. Oh, crude repository test runner. Okay, tell me. Test runner. Where is this? Command line run. Where is that command line runner? What's the runner, guys? Command line. Add unimplemented methods. Okay, guys. Inject. Let me make this one as a spring bean. To the runner, eye doctor management service. What service, guys? Doc service. At the rate auto void. What void, guys? At the rate void. Prepare doctor object with data. Doctor doctor is equal to new doctor of doc dot. What dot, guys? Doctor is equal to new doc. Doctor dot. Come on, tell me next one. D name. What's the doctor dot D name? Raja. Doctor dot address Hyderabad. Doctor dot expert cardio. He is expert in cardio. Doctor dot set fee 19. Doctor dot set fee something. We are ready with the doctor class object now, boss. Invoke service method. Invoke service. String message is equal to doc service dot register doctor doc. Sys out. Okay, message. What is there? Catch. Exception E. E dot. E dot. Print stack trace. E dot print stack trace. That's great. Now if I run the main method, automatically this runner will execute now, my dear. Yes. Boot JPA pros 01 Java application. See, it has created table dynamically. Oh, it's saying that table is already there. That's why it is trying to alter the table. Okay. No, we don't use that table, guys. We don't use the existing table. We try to use a fresh table. We try to drop the existing table and we'll see. System tiger. Tables, guys. JPA underscore doctor. JP underscore doctor. Run as Java application. Doctor is saved with ID value 1002 numbers. Maybe the already relevant thing is there. JPA underscore doctor underscore sequence. It is already there. 1 minute. Let me check. Even that is also there. It's creating everything freshly, guys. Right click, run as Java. Okay. First time one. Okay. Look at the table. We're able to insert the record or not. Yeah. JPA underscore doc. Refresh, guys. JPA underscore doctor. This process is happening or not, guys? One Hyderabad Raja cardio 90,000. Okay, this is already inserted record. That's why coming. What's the second one that will come, guys? I'm not changing data, but value to PK column coming dynamically. Even table is created dynamically, my dear. Second value is 2 or not, guys? See, guys, no SQL query, nothing. But record is generated dynamically or not, guys? Yeah. So this is about working with what, guys? First method of the crude operation, that is save. Let me upload. Yeah, this Sunday morning 10 a.m. we have a common topic class. Tomorrow regular 5:15 p.m. regular topic is there. Clear? Tomorrow continuation of regular topic. Sunday morning 10 a.m. common topic, that is Spring Boot mail. Common topic link I already kept in the regular last week common topic link only. Same link, guys. Tomorrow online or offline? Tomorrow it's online. Sorry, both offline and online. Sunday it's completely online. Sunday it's completely online. 5:30 p.m. 5:30 p.m. Tell me. Spring Boot data JPA. File upload. File upload. Spring Boot code, guys. Spring Boot data JPA. Where is this? Session 3. This one. Thank you, guys. Have a nice day.